think about Josh Duggar right now. I don't want to have that like weigh me down right now. I have needed like solid days away from the story. I don't know if I can say this loud enough, but the story has been extremely taxing on me. It's been extremely overwhelming because so many people are constantly like calling me, emailing me, and it's like just constant. I needed a break. And so I'm honestly telling you right now, I need a break. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to think about it. It'll happen this week and we'll get back to it. Right now, I'm talking about what I did this weekend.
Hi beautiful people, welcome back. Hope everybody is doing fantastic wherever you are in this world. Hope everybody's had an amazing weekend. You guys, me personally, I have been so busy gearing up for the festive season. There's just so much to do and so little time. It's like by the end of this week we're already in the middle of December, so we just got to do what we got to do. Please don't forget, visit the description box down below. Please go and subscribe to GABBY PETITO and Mel Thompson's channel. That would be amazing, and I thank you in advance for doing that. Also, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and the notification bell so you'll be notified each time I upload. And please do not take what I say as fact. Feel free to do your own research and come to your own conclusion. Off the back, huge trigger warning. I, for the most part, have clipped out or tried to silence the graphic nature of what we're going to go over, but if you feel you cannot handle being triggered by such graphic CSAM or anything to that nature, I'll see you in the next one. But once again, huge trigger warning. So what I'm going to go into today is the fact that Katie Joy is such a fake. She's such a hypocrite, and this just proves that Katie Joy is not in it as an advocate or in it for the well-being of kids. She's just in this for the money. And I'm talking about her reporting on the Duggars. Because as you saw from the clip prior to me starting this video, she says, you know, all that Duggar content is so heavy and she needs a break. But she just has not stopped talking about it for the past, week? And you guys, it is so heavy. It is so heavy that I think a sane person cannot tolerate such graphic details on a daily basis. They're to the point that this woman, and you can pause and read, is going deep, doing deep dives into this dark web and searching these people that were doing it. It can't be good for your mental health. Absolutely not. And I also want to be very clear with you guys where I stand and how I feel about the Duggars. And I'm talking about Joshua Duggar, and I'm talking about the parents, Jim Bob and Michelle. First of all, Joshua Duggar is nothing but trash. He's a lowlife. He's a piece of shit. Any disgusting adjectives you can find, that is Joshua Duggar, because at the end of the day, he's been doing this for 2 decades. Okay, he started doing this when he was 15, maybe younger than that. This is so disgusting. There is absolutely no doubt, absolutely zero doubt in my mind that this piece of trash, Joshua Duggar, will be sentenced. He will get his, because this is the way I see it. And this is for Jim Bob and Michelle Duggar, which they're never going to see. But you see, according to the Bible, what it says, everything that's done in the dark always comes to light. So if they feel they're this perfect Christian family, they can cover things up. No, sir. Absolutely not. What the fuck are you running for Senate for? For what? Because after this, that family is going to be known as the worst family ever, in my opinion, because of what Jim Bob and Michelle Duggar did to cover up their son's crimes, in my opinion. There is just no other way of putting it, but he is scum. People like this should be locked away and never ever see the light of day again, in my opinion. And he doesn't deserve these beautiful kids that he has. It's absolutely disgusting. Disgusting to think that somebody could stoop this low. And like I say again, once again, you know, there's definitely, these people need to be locked away and never ever see the light of day again. They don't deserve to have partners. They don't deserve to have kids. They don't deserve to have anything. Absolutely nothing. And now when we're talking about Jim Bob and Michelle Duggar, I firmly believe, in my opinion, they deserve to be locked away too. For them to have covered for their son all these years, for them to have put their kids through so much, for them to gaslight people, for them to try and carry on as if life is just going on, there's nothing to see here, that is bullshit. Because at the end of the day, those parents enabled their son. They covered up for their son, which at the end of the day is a total no-no, especially when it was done to their own kids. So in my opinion, they should be locked away. All their kids should be taken away from them, as far as I'm concerned, but that's just me. So you guys, the main reason I did this today was for you guys to see, because a lot of people don't actually have Katie Joy's social media. I'm talking about Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, okay? And this is her way of doing things. You see, she goes on Instagram and she acts a different way compared to YouTube. On her Instagram, she'll curse up a storm. She'll swear people left, right, and center. She'll talk about graphic stuff. It was a few weeks ago where she was basically illustrating how Josh Duggar was violating these youngsters, which was so disgusting. And to me, it seems as though she gets off on these horrible stories because nobody in their right mind would ever want to sit, and she is the only one that I've come across that has spoken about the graphic details opposed to anybody else. And I've watched quite a few. They will put it in another way or call it something else, but not to speak verbatim what's written about it, what he was doing. But we're going to get into that. And this just proves that Katie Joy gives a shit about these kids. She gives a shit about anything else that happens. Now, you see, in regard to Katie Joy, as I said, she goes on her Instagram. She can act a certain kind of way because she knows she's not going to get demonetized. On her YouTube, she got to watch what she say, how she approaches it. And she always comes across as she doesn't want to trigger anybody. KJ, in my humble opinion, the only fools that you have is your audience. And I mean that in the most sincere way, because this woman is not doing it for the sake of the kids or for the sake of the victims. She's doing it for her own personal gain. Check this out. She put on her Instagram, what about the 18-month-old girl whose life is forever altered because of the torture she endured? What about the 11-year-old girl that was murdered and buried underneath Peter Scully's kitchen floor? What about the children kidnapped and trafficked to make CSAM? What about the victims of CSAM who are re-victimized every time the videos and images of their sexual abuse is shared and viewed online? What about the children that are beaten, starved, chained, locked in cages and tortured to make hardcore? What about those lives? You cannot be pro-life and then disregard their lives once they are born. Full stop. I love it when you get fired up like this, Katie. Don't ever stop being a loud and unapologetic advocate for survivors. And then she replies and says, hate when children are victimized and ignored. Now, we're going to go over her Instagram live, where she did last week, okay? And this is how fucking fake Katie Joy is. This person is praising her for being unapologetic and loud for the survivors, but she can't fucking even muster up the emotion to pine or to hurt for these victims. Now, before we get into this, my thought about discussing something so graphic should not be, it should be left to the viewer, whether they want to read it themselves or whether they opt not to read it. But leave the link in your description of your Instagram or your YouTube. Let it be on them if they want to read this graphic content. Leave it to their discretion if they are able to take this graphic content. But no, Katie Joy feels that she must get into the details of all this graphic content. But she can't even fucking muster up the emotions to go with this graphic content. Let's get into it.
I just told you guys that the director of Department of Homeland Security's Child Exploitation Unit went through the images that were found and like the videos that were found on Josh's computer, and they found his name on the partition along with his address. I'm just gonna read you what was shared on The Sun about his testimony. And I just want to say, like, flat out, like, trigger warning. If you do not want to listen to graphic testimony about what was found, you might want to exit this live, okay? But it says that one file was found on his computer. I didn't even know about this. Is a video of a 3-month-old.
Get ready for the theatrics, people.
A 3-month-old. A 3-month-old. It says the jury was shown disturbing images and videos that were found on his computer. A folder of pornography of child sexual abuse material was found in a cache folder in the download section of the computer. The account was linked to the prosecution explained that the account linked to this computer has Josh's name and address. One folder contained 65 thumbnail files, which is where the child sexual abuse images were found. Some of the files were attempted to be downloaded onto the computer. They did not offer direct proof that the videos and images were successfully downloaded and watched by Josh. He described what was seen in the videos. Again, trigger warning.
What's wrong, Katie? Those tears just don't want to come out. Still can't get those tears out, Katie.
The final video is from the Daisy's destruction. A 3-month-old baby. He's a monster. They found an account linked with his name on this partition. The account linked to this computer has Josh's name and address.
Can you believe the theatrics, people? She can't seem to get these tears out. She can't seem to muster up the emotion.
Derek Dillard was there. Austin was there. Joanna was there. Justin was there. Anna was there. Claire Spivey, or Claire Duggar, Hillary Spivey. But
Still can't get those tears out, Katie.
how did Justin walk out of that hearing smiling? How was Josh in court today smiling? Josh was smiling. Justin was smiling. Hillary Spivey was smiling. This is horrible. I don't believe for a second that it was anyone else but Josh. When you have the director of the Department of Homeland, or the Department of Justice, the director of the Department of Justice of child exploitation, the fucking director, a baby. They told us it was like an 18-month-old. For some reason, I don't know why. I mean, that's horrible. But a 3-month-old? A 3-month-old baby girl tied up and tortured?
Still nothing, Katie.
He has a baby that's 2 months old. Josh Duggar has a 2-month-old baby girl.
Katie, so why aren't you doing anything? You were the one that said that there's such dark things going on in that house. You even sat on your Instagram live and said there's at least 2 more of the boys that are doing what Josh Duggar's doing. And there's not a fucking single thing you would do to help those kids. Because this is what makes your money.
Fuck you, Josh Duggar. Fuck you, Jim Bob Duggar. Seriously, fuck anyone that supports Josh Duggar. any of his siblings that can stand by this and not open their eyes.
Just hold on 1 second, KJ. Weren't you the one that says that you know people that are connected to the Duggars, that are friends with the Duggars, that are still close to the Duggars, and are still part of the Duggars' lives? I'm confused here. So why the fuck aren't you doing anything? You said you're an advocate. You said we need to support these kids. What are you doing, KJ? You exploiting these kids. Let's be clear about that.
And want to be lied to because it's easier than seeing the truth. If you support Josh and you're in the Duggar family, you are supporting a predator, and no child is safe.
Still can't get those emotions out, Katie. You still can't. You are as cold as ice. That's what you are.
I hope to God Josh's children have not been molested.
Hold on 1 second, KJ. In one of your lives, when all this started, you were the ones to say that these kids are not to be discussed. Now, you're the one that is putting thoughts in people's minds. Let me redirect you, okay, to her Instagram, where she posted a photo of Josh Duggar's son. This little boy who needs to be protected. He has no business in this. He is not supposed to be exploited the way Katie's exploiting this child. I still covered his face. Katie didn't cover his face. All out for people to know who this little boy is. That's not fair. And she says, these photos of Mason eating a huge pickle when posted by Josh and Anna Duggar on November 14, 2019. Josh Duggar's car lot was raided on November 8th. He knew that he was being investigated for downloading CSAM. We are not implying anything happened to Mason. We are simply pointing out the timeline and the photos he decided to share less than a week later. Who's we, KJ? This is you. This is your fucked up mind. To take something so fucking innocent and exploit it in a different and sick, twisted way. This is fucking sick. Do you think people like this advertise their dirty, scummy ways? No, KJ, they don't. You research these people. You should know. They live normal lives. They do things behind the scenes. They do things on the down low, KJ. It's your fucked up mind that's putting all these thoughts in other people's minds, KJ. You make me sick when you do this to innocent fucking kids.
I don't want this to be too long. I don't know. I'm assuming DCFS has to be involved. There's no way. Like, I don't know. There has to, I mean, I keep thinking about how the Duggars have the kids, and I'm like, maybe they took the kids and we don't even know. Like, maybe the Duggars are taking care of the kids because they took the kids. Like, we wouldn't even know because the DCFA, like the CPS case would be private, right? And I remembered that there's a protective order, right? So remember we were talking about, like, in the summer there was, in the summer, a protective order that was placed for the victims to, like, not have them publicly identified and that they would be kept private. There was a stipulation in there about his own children that if anyone from DCFS or child advocacy testified, his child abuse of his children would not be private. So if he sexually assaulted any of his kids, that would not be protected. I mean, Meredith, she's 5. Mariella is 1. What did he do to Mackenzie? I can't believe this family could even... I just want to show you that photo. This is Josh today. Look at him. You can tell he's smiling under there. You guys are covering up for a pedophile.
Also, let's be clear about one thing, KJ. You the one that's profiting off this pedophile.
Shame on you. Jim Bob Duggar, you're no better than your son. I swear, you're no better. What kind of man covers for a pedophile? You know, and it's so clear to me that they tried to mess with Matthew Waller. They're trying indirectly, legally, without being illegal, influence and tamper witnesses. Thank goodness they don't need witnesses to prove the forensics that are on these computers. Jim Bob, you said that you couldn't remember what happened to your daughters, but what about to protect your son? You're not a Christian. You're a fucking Pharisee. You're a grifter. You're a con man. You're a criminal. Anyone that can cover up this kind of crime is just as much of a criminal in my mind. If my son was involved in this, you guys, there's no way. No way. Okay, he had a video of a 3-month-old. If you're not here, that was someone's real baby.
Still can't get those tears out, Katie.
That he has these videos on his computer. The 3-month-old, if I'm thinking correctly, is from the Daisy Destruction videos. And yes, she's been found.
How do you know that, KJ? Have you watched Daisy's Destruction? Do you know, because did he say that this 3-month-old is from Daisy's Destruction? Did he say that? Because at the end of the day, you're so infatuated with this Daisy Destruction. Nobody talks about it the way you talk about it, Katie. It's actually quite sickening.
In one of the videos that they found on his computer, the Daisy Destructions one of the little girls was like 11. And so one of the girls was murdered. And they want you to think they're the victims. What about those babies? They care about kids and they say kids are blessings, right? They say all children are a gift from God. All children are a gift from God. What about those babies?
You can't even find that emotion. You can't even be emotional for these kids that were hurt. You can't do it, KJ. You tried so hard, but let's be clear. Like I've always said, if you got it, you got it. You don't fucking have it, KJ. You as cold as fucking ice. It's like nothing phases you. You can't even bring yourself to be emotional for these fucking victims, KJ. And how can we expect anything different? Look how you re-victimize those sisters of his. Every opportunity you had, you re-victimize them. You should be beyond ashamed of yourself, KJ. Who does this?
Have you heard any of them say anything about those victims? Have you? Have you heard anything about the babies? Anything about these babies being tortured? A 3-month-old? Peter Scully is a monster. And anyone that looks at Peter Scully's videos deserves to be murdered. I swear to God, if you are part of a world that is watching videos of a 3-month-old being tortured, you should literally be murdered. Like, there should be no mercy for you. No one should be trading a video of a 3-month-old being tortured. I feel literally ill. I'm gonna go. So, Ben Seawald, fuck you for your stupid fucking video today, blaming gay people for everything. The real predator is your fucking brother-in-law, and he sexually assaulted your wife. Grow a fucking pair, get a real fucking job, take care of your daughters, and stop fucking living off your pedophile-loving father-in-law.
There you have it, you guys. You be the judge. You be the judge. Not one tear came out of that woman's eyes. Those theatrics were absolutely atrocious. It's absolutely fucking disgusting. The lengths this woman would go through. She has been accumulating thousands. Within a few days, she's accumulated at least 5,000 to 6,000 people on her Instagram. How come she hasn't accumulated that much on her YouTube? Because realistically speaking, okay, if you go and follow somebody on Instagram and you enjoy their content on Instagram and then you see that they have a YouTube channel, aren't you automatically going to go to their YouTube channel and actually watch them? Because that's my thought process. So it's like, what fucking kind of people is she attracting on Instagram to listen and to see how and what she's actually researching? Because that's a huge jump, people. Because only now has she been these last few days, she's been talking about all this graphic content. It's actually quite disturbing. And going back to can't find the emotions. She cannot. It doesn't fucking take a rocket scientist to figure out the content this piece of shit was viewing is not just your run-of-the-mill pornography. It's bad. It's truly sickening. And how can she not even find the emotion to feel for these victims? She has a kid. She's a mother. She should know. And what is she doing all this research for? For what? Not that she's going to do anything to help these kids. Not that she's going to go out of her way to advocate for them. No. Because it is what it is. She is just profiting off the traumas of these kids through the piece of shit Joshua Duggar is. And at the end of the day, if you can't find that emotion, you're a certain kind of person, in my opinion. And she knows exactly what she's doing. She's all about the numbers. And that's fine. If you can sleep at night, that's fine. But just don't exploit those children of Anna's and Josh's. They didn't choose to be in the situation. Katie Joy, they didn't choose to be in the situation. They didn't choose who their parents were going to be. It's so fucking unfortunate that those beautiful babies are stuck with a piece of shit like Josh Duggar. It makes me so sad. It truly makes me so sad that they are stuck in this position. And there you go and you put it out and put it in people's minds what their dad could have done to them. It's so heartbreaking. You spoke about Meredith, okay? She's such a young child. So young. Why would you put that out in the atmosphere? Why would you put... And I'm sure I've tried so hard to be okay, you know? But this is so heartbreaking. She is such a young baby. She is so beautiful. And this is what she puts out. And you guys pay attention to how this woman, Katie Joy, takes photos of these babies off their mother's Instagram. And she watermarks it as her own. Looks like Josh Duggar was feeling guilty for staying late with customers back on May 16, 2019. And a shot of roses which Meredith smelled for the camera. Honestly speaking, you guys, take any child, okay? When they see something so vibrant, so beautiful, what are they gonna do? They're gonna smell the flowers. Good for Anna that she got that picture, you know? But then Katie Joy got to take a situation like that and she got to fuck it up with a sick, dark, twisted thought. So she's putting her own timeline on. That picture of little Mason, that was National Pickle Day. But she took it and she twisted it to suit her own fucking dark mind. I am so sick of this woman exploiting these children, which they did not choose who their parents were. They stuck in this situation where they living with grandparents now that enabled their son to keep doing what he was doing, in my opinion. I've tried so hard to be okay and not be emotional, but it just, all the time, it will always get me, you guys. It will always get me. Because now who is protecting those babies? Who is protecting them? You got a person like Katie Joy that exploiting them, that will put their whereabouts and let people know their whereabouts, and not even think twice about it. But on the other hand, if and when she does post her son, she covers his face. So why couldn't she do the same thing for these precious children that didn't ask to be in this situation? She is so foul. She is so disgusting. She is the worst person I've ever come across to do this to these little kids. All I hope and I pray that the right people are doing their jobs to protect these babies. And if Katie Joy knows the darkness and that there are two other boys that are doing the same thing their brother is doing, shame on you, Katie, for not doing a fucking thing to help those kids. Shame on you. You've got your son there, at the same age as one of them. At least think about how it would be for that child. You guys, you make up your own mind. You can come up to your own conclusions. But at the end of the day, this woman is just as bad, in my opinion, as Joshua Duggar. She can't muster up the emotion. She can't just lay off the graphicness. She's doing deep dives into these people that are creating this content. Why would you subject yourself to this and then include or give a timeline according to their children? She needs to be stopped. She truly does need. My heart breaks for those babies. It truly breaks for them. Why isn't more being done for them? You guys, I'm gonna leave it as that. I just can't stop being emotional talking about their kids. Something needs to be done. So you guys, thank you so much for joining me. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, ring the notification bell, and also please go and subscribe to Gabby and to Mel's thing. I truly appreciate it. Hope everybody has a wonderful week. I do have more content coming out, so I think it should be by tomorrow. So you guys, please have a fantastic rest of your week. Please be safe out there. Be kind to one another, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye guys.